Georgia Dome in the shadow of the beautiful skyline of downtown Atlanta. And on this first Saturday in December, the site of so much activity surrounding this game. The University of Florida band and the University of Alabama band. It's top-ranked Alabama against second-ranked Florida, and we welcome you to the SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper, the undefeated Crimson Tide, and the once-beaten Florida Gators. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson. Welcome to the most significant SEC championship game ever. This is also, by the way, a de facto BCS semifinal game, the winner expected to go to Miami. These are two of the great brand names in all of college football. Alabama, so dominant for so much of the last century. 21 SEC titles, 12 national championships attest to that. But they have been wandering in the wilderness for most of this decade. Now they are back, top-ranked, #1 in the country. Bama is indeed back. The Florida Gators, one of the great brand names in the last 2 decades. A national championship in 1996, another in 2006. And in this season, the only blemish on an otherwise spotless record, a 1-point defeat at home back in September to Ole Miss. And did we mention it's #1 against #2? The 41st all-time meeting in teams ranked 1 and 2 in the Associated Press ballot. Joined by Gary Danielson. Not a lot to ignore in this game, but give me an idea, Gary, of what you think might be decisive.
Well, it's going to be a close game, you feel. So I think you got to say, don't let the enormity of the game throw you off. There's going to be drop passes. There's going to be bad calls. I mean, you're going to line up wrong. You can't overreact to that and throw you off the game. It's the contrasting styles of these two teams, though, that really means some players are going to have to stand up and settle their team down. The quarterbacks on defense for Alabama, Rashad Johnson, must get Alabama lined up against the spread. And Brandon Spikes, he is the middle. He's the presence that has that physical power to stand up to that Alabama rush team.
The Florida Gators have in Percy Harvin, one of the outstanding players in all of college football, injured last week on this play in the rivalry game in the rain at Florida State. Questionable for much of the week. He was not able to work out. And just take a look at how he has contributed offensively for this team. Will he or won't he play? For more on that, here's Tracy Wolfson.
Well, guys, I spoke with Urban Meyer before the game. He said Percy Harvin will not play. He spent 10 to 12 hours a day in the training room trying to work on that ankle. But Meyer said it was obvious during walkthroughs yesterday he was not going to be able to go. I actually just spoke to Percy Harvin just a little while ago. He said he was still pleading his case to play earlier today, and Meyer said no. I spoke with offense coordinator Dan Mullen during warm-ups. I said, how does this affect your offense? He looked at me, he laughed. He said, Harvin's the best player in the country. Of course it's going to affect our offense, but we just have to adjust. Guys?
All right, Tracy. Gary, how do they adjust?
Well, it's huge. I mean, you can line up another guy there, but nobody, as Dan Mullen said, can approximate what Percy Harvin can do to a defense. And if you think about it, Alabama has set up their defensive game plan to identify Percy Harvin throughout the whole game. So it's got to fall back to the quarterbacks. And by the way, Florida's got a pretty good quarterback. On this side of the ball, Tebow will be more like the 2007 Tebow, running the quarterback draw, the power game, and the option game. Alabama will try to force him to throw. Now, Alabama has exactly what Nick Saban wants at quarterback, a play-action guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. John Parker Wilson moves the chains. But what he does better than most people know, he's maybe the best deep ball thrower in the Southeastern Conference.
So from the Georgia Dome, it's going to be Alabama, Urban Meyer, Nick Saban. And did we tell you, they're ranked first and second. The Georgia Dome in early December, downtown Atlanta. And inside, the undefeated and top-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Right behind them, once beaten Florida Gators. back with the kickoff from Atlanta in a moment.
To the fans and everybody in Gator Nation, I'm sorry, extremely sorry, but I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season. You never see a team play harder than we will the rest of the season. God bless.
Promise delivered. Since that moment, Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators have taken the SEC by storm. 8 straight wins, scoring more than 50 points per. Sort of old school. You remember, the head ball coach, Warfel, 6 rings in 10 years. Sweet as sugar.
Will new coach Nick Saban bring Alabama back to its glory days?
He may go 2015, 10-5, touchdown Alabama.
Mission accomplished. Bama is back, undefeated and #1. Just like with the Bears. 21 SEC titles. Name it. Stabler. Goal line stand.
But that was then.
This is now.
Urban.
Coach Saban.
The spread.
The defense.
Tebow.
Now Cody.
The passion.
Roll Tide.
The emotion.
#1.
Alabama. Bama Jamma. Yellow Hammer.
Florida. Gators.
So, it seems all that is old is new again. The lessons of the Bear and the head ball coach have been passed on to this current generation of players. And they know a team is a unit. And in order to become champions of the SEC, the unit must work as one. I said, the unit must work as one.
Just your average, everyday open for a game. Alabama and Florida. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson, our entire crew. So glad you could be with us as Alabama has won the toss. This is the 34th meeting. Last time they met, Florida won. It's the 6th time they've met in this championship game.
I was down in the field, Vern. There's more intensity for this game than the 2 national championships I've done because the teams are so familiar with each other.
Caleb Sturgis will kick off. He's done so 79 previous times. You think they score a lot? Here's the kick. Bounces at the 15 and goes right by Arenas. This will be a touchback. Starting senior from Hoover, Alabama, John Parker Wilson has managed this team very capably this year. Sometimes guilty of getting a little too emotional. We've not seen that in the last half of this year.
No, he's been a program and a system quarterback, but he's got that attitude now. He definitely has earned that moniker as the Bama quarterback.
From the 21st and 10, double tight end set. As per usual, 2 wideouts, 1 running back. That would be Glenn Coffey. And Coffey will test the middle on first down. Picks up a quick 3.5 yards. The lineups presented by Dr. Pepper. Let's check the offensive lineup. Up front for Alabama, Andre Smith and Antoine Caldwell, 2 All-Americans. It's a very good offensive line. Julio Jones, the talented freshman, Mike McCoy, the other wideout, McCall and Walker, the tight ends, and the running back who just carried the ball is Glenn Coffey. He picked up 3 at 2nd and 7. Strength to the left. They run left over Andre Smith, and he gets 2 yards, does Coffey. Ryan Stamper, number 41, one of the linebackers. Defensively for this Florida team, they don't start a senior on defense. Tratto, Marsh, Sanders, and Cunningham, the front 4. Stamper, who just made the tackle, the key in the middle, Brandon Spikes, and Brandon Hicks has had a strong second half of the year. True freshman Janoris Jenkins, black, with 6 interceptions, Wright and Joe Hayden, and Urban Meyer, the head coach. 3rd down. From the spread. John Parker Wilson back across the middle. Wow, that's short of the first down. Ahmad Black, number 35, delivered the blow on Darius Hanks, and it's 3 and out for Alabama.
I'll tell you, Ahmad Black was playing what you call a robber defense. That was man-to-man with a robber in the middle of the field, and he read that play all the way. That was well schooled by this Florida defense. They were expecting that crossing route.
4 career punt returns, 2 of them this year. Memorably in an early season game we did against Tennessee. Corey Reamer is the up back, and P.J. Fitzgerald is the punter. This Florida team will come at you, but not this time. The return is on all the way. And James runs up. Short punt. Great special teams hit, but he gets out of the first pop.
Rashad Johnson. He's something. Special teamer and the quarterback of the defense.
Chris Rogers was the man who made the initial blow, number 8. A 36-yard punt, 6 on the return. Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators. Jeff Demps is the starting tailback alongside Tebow. Good field position for the Gators' opening drive. Demps spilled after a gain of 3. If there was a quintessential Tebow game, Gary, it was last week in the rain at Florida State.
Well, Bobby Bowden called him Bronco Nagurski playing quarterback. And if you watch this guy over 2 or 3 years, because he does it all, including getting a block and a tackle in this football game, he, as I said before, will be more like 2007 without Harvin than 2008 distributing the ball.
Tebow drills it. Caught. Lewis Murphy. That's 26 consecutive games in which Murphy has caught a pass. That's a quick pickup of 13. Tebow is joined offensively up front by another very good offensive line. They're going to go without a huddle, so we'll hurry through this. The Pouncey twins in the middle. You see the rest of them. They're in the shotgun formation. First down 10. Blitz threatened, blitz coming. Toss. There's the option play you talked about, Gary, and it's good with Demps around the corner and to the 30.
Well, you got to give Dan Mullen credit. They went no huddle on this and caught Alabama in a weak side zone blitz. They had the perfect play on. Look, pressure's coming from this side. Opposite goes to the right of the screen. They have the absolute perfect play. In fact, Florida has 3 blockers on this play. It could have popped.
And they go no huddle on this first down and 10 play. In the spread, Aaron Hernandez moves to his right. Tebow has it, keeps it. First down at the 16.
It's almost like 3-card Monty. Which guy's got the ball under the card? Does it the right to the left? They switch it, they move it, and all of a sudden you look up one, and this time Tebow has the ball inside. Florida's been hearing about the Alabama offensive line. Well, they got the added advantage of angles because they run that option offense.
That was a gain of 14 for the quarterback. And it's first down 10, opening parry of this game for the Gators. Here's Tebow, play action, pulls back, fires it short, diving catch. David Nelson. And that is a completed pass at the 7-yard line.
Tebow was on fire in warm-ups. This is a half roll, covered well by Alabama, and he drops it off to the crossing wide receiver, Vernon. Warm-ups, Tebow has a tradition where he high bumps Dan Mullen. He jumps up and hits him in the chest, chest to chest. He knocked Mullen right on the ground. Then he turned around to Lewis Murphy, head-butted him. Murphy had to take his helmet off because he was dazed after Tebow hit him.
Here's the measurement. Short. A smidgen. Well, how do you replace Percy Harvin?
Well, you take a bunch of guys and you do what they do well. Demps obviously has that speed. We all know that. Brandon James he can be the deception guy on the option. He's such a great returner. And then the great pass routes down the field of David Nelson.
There's Percy Harvin on the sideline. And it's third and very, very short. Second, I beg your pardon. Tim Tebow, empty backfield. That's Hernandez. Now it's not empty. He's the lead blocker. Tebow goes left. It will be first and goal at the 4. And among other highlights in this 8-game streak after they lost to Ole Miss at home 31-30, they have been so dominant in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, they've been dominant the whole game. You know, as much as you say about Percy Harvin, and we do know he's a great football player, but do you know against Florida State, when Percy Harvin went out of that game, the score was 14-6. Florida scored 45 points. So they know how to score without Percy Harvin.
Javier Estupinan is in, the 6th-year senior. He's in as a blocking back, number 93. Was once a starting defensive tackle. First and goal, Brandon James in motion. Tebow. There's a little of that Bronco Nagurski style. He did not get the touchdown. Rolando McClain with the tackle. Well, Ole Miss, September 27th. They've won 8 in a row. Look at this. These are gaudy figures. 414.97. Rushing yardage per game, 279. What was it Urban Meyer told us? We've gotten 1,700 yards out of the tailback position.
And almost nothing last year.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have it. Well, you can see, as good as Alabama's defense is, the power of Tebow. I think he's the best short yardage back in the country.
Tebow again. Stopped again. It'll be third down.
That was a mistake.
And there's a little fracas in the end zone. On the far side in the end zone, Kareem Jackson and Riley Cooper.
This was misplayed by Florida. You see, Brandon James is actually behind Tebow. So instead of having a play of 11 on 11, James is behind the quarterback. He only got 10 on 11. Here's what happened in the end zone that Burns saw. Well, I'll tell you, Arenas is lucky he didn't get a penalty right there because Riley Cooper was blocking him fair and square.
Yeah. Third down. Tebow under pressure, fires, caught, touchdown. Carl Moore, his first touchdown catch of 2008. Try the extra point as Nick Saban looks up at the scoreboard. Jonathan Phillips, he's 71 of 72 for the year. The one miss was a blocked extra point in the loss to Ole Miss. Nothing wrong with this one.
I'll tell you, Tebow bought some time on this one and threw the ball the only spot he could, low and away, and what a catch. What a drive.
Now it's time for the playbook presented by the Hartford.
Look what Tebow did here. Unblocked at the end is going to come right in on Tebow clean. Tebow knew it because of the blitzing linebacker right here, and he bought time by fading to his left just a bit and threw the ball perfectly to the outside. It was one-on-one coverage except for a free man in the middle right there. Load one way, free man Hightower in the middle. Tebow knew he was smart enough to know he was unblocked from his right side, and he bought time by going to the left.
And after that touchdown, the Florida Gators have now outscored the opposition 167 to 10 in the first quarters of games played this year. Whoa.
Well, that's the easiest he's hit anybody in a while.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Right.
Spilled the Gatorade. Javier Arenas, 2 yards into the end zone, in trouble. Real trouble. This game and all SEC college football games brought to you in crystal clear CBS high definition. On offense for the second time now, the Alabama Crimson Tide 3 and out on the first series from the 20. They start this one from the 18. This is the 6th time these teams have met in this game.
Although Urban Meyer has never faced Nick Saban as head coach.
Interesting, huh?
Yep.
John Parker Wilson. Julio Jones breaks a tackle. Missed from behind. He does not have the angle, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Major Wright caught up with him.
Florida has been gambling and loading the box. This time they're playing man-to-man coverage with Hayden off instead of man-to-man press. One-on-one, great protection up front, perfect throw, and then Julio Jones does this about as well as anybody. Look at him break down and then reverses field. He is so strong. I really think he's the pressure point that has to start for Alabama to open up this Florida defense.
That was a gain of 64, and it's first down and 10 at the 18. Coffee is the running back. He comes right this time at the 10. Gets a block. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama.
Well, it's supposed to be go to the right for Alabama. This time, they break the tendency like they did against Auburn a week ago. They usually run left. This time they go right, and Florida was not ready for it.
Drew Davis at that right tackle spot, and terrific balance by Glenn Coffey. A look at the replay, and he's clearly in.
Wow. You know, it's almost like he knew he had to keep his knees up in the air there, didn't he? That is wonderful. Boy, one pass pattern to Julio Jones opened up this game for Alabama.
Well, this has been, Gary, as we've seen, a very conservative offense for Alabama. And statistically, just to give you an idea, the previous long play, you look at Glenn Coffey here, who gets the touchdown. John Parker Wilson's previous longest pass was 40 yards. That one's 64, and a lot of it Julio Jones breaking that tackle.
And what's scary for Florida is they felt they had to play man-to-man on the outside receivers for Alabama to load the box. That's their game plan.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So now, if you're Charlie Strong, see, Alabama didn't blink. They just ran an easy square in. They didn't go for something big. Big just happened. Now, does Charlie Strong say, uh-oh, I don't like that matchup out there with Julio Jones? Who's going to make the first move here? Will Charlie Strong change his strategy?
Lee Tiffin on for the extra point. Well, the Florida Gators went 9 plays, almost the length of the field. Alabama counters with a quick strike, 2 plays.
One square-in pass, and then Julio Jones shows why he is a difference maker. I've been saying all year, he's the best true freshman receiver I've seen since Larry Fitzgerald, and he's definitely the strongest I've seen as a freshman ever play. Open it up, give the ball and run the ball. I thought Florida was supposed to be the explosive offense.
In 1992, the inaugural SEC championship game had Gene Stallings and the Crimson Tide taking on Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators. The teams traded scores throughout, but with the game tied at 21 late in the fourth quarter, Alabama's Antonio Langham picked off Florida's Shane Matthews for the game-winning touchdown and the first ever SEC championship game title.
7-7 halfway through the first. Lee Tiffin will kick off. And the deep man is the ever-dangerous number 25, Brandon James. This will be James from the 2. Oh, boy. What a special teams play. That was Prince Hall, number 21. My gosh, and then Chris Jordan came in to clean it up.
Prince Hall used to be a starting linebacker for this Alabama team. Kind of got beat out by a couple of these young freshmen and true sophomores here that Nick has recruited, but on that one, that could have been a little bit of a face mask right there, right at the end. But Prince Hall was the first man on the tackle.
So the Gators take over at their own 11-yard line after Prince Hall's special teams play.
And it is Brandon James that is playing mostly in Harvin's spot.
In motion. Option, Brandon James coming left. Good pursuit by Alabama. Really good pursuit. That's Rashad Johnson yet again. Now we'll introduce you again to the Alabama defense. Greenwood, Cody, and Dederick up front. The linebackers, Reamer, Rolando McClain, Dante Hightower, and Brandon Fanny. And in the secondary, Arenas and Woodall, Rashad Johnson, and Kareem Jackson. Chris Rainey is on the field now, number 3. The give goes to Rainey, and the get is 1 yard. Rainey, a redshirt freshman, and it's Josh Chapman who made the tackle that time, number 99. He'll spell Terrence Cody throughout the game.
Yeah, he will. You know, there's so many variations for this Alabama team. I was talking to Rashad Johnson and all the DBs. They're wearing cheat sheets on their belts. And I asked Chad, had he ever done it before? He said, no, this is the first time. They have so much there that they needed a little help.
On third down, the blitz threatened. It's coming. Tebow steps up a lot of time. Fires it for Nelson. It's knocked away. Kareem Jackson, the sophomore out of Macon, Georgia, number 3.
See, Kareem Jackson did not believe that David Nelson could beat him deep. He squatted all over Nelson. There's a lot of speed for Florida, but you got to know if you're Alabama who isn't fast. And Nelson isn't fast, and Kareem Jackson followed his scouting report on that one and knocked that play down.
Chaz Henry on to punt on fourth down, and here's Arenas. Earlier against Mississippi State, his 5th career punt return for a touchdown. Break a tie for the lead that he held with David Palmer, one of the stars of the last national championship team. Here's a flag, and the play is allowed to continue. Arenas grabs it at the 49. Cuts back. That looked like a block in the back at the 30-yard line. There's no flag there, but there is one down at the 11. So let's check it. Tom Ritter is our referee today.
Well, the Gators are hoping Alabama lined up off sides because I'll tell you, Alabama will decline it.
Shift on the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
You have the option to add it to the end of the run, and that's a good job by Nick. One of the reasons modern-day coaches are shifting a lot and keeping the defense off balance so they can discourage the defense from blocking punts. You can see they were not set for a full second. I think that's what the call was.
And Arenas at the other end with a 19-yard return on a 36-yard punt. Great field position for the Crimson Tide. They've got the ball with a 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. On your right, number 1 in Civies, Percy Harvin. And the tall guy wearing number 7, Cornelius Ingram, injured, knee injury, beginning of the year. Thought they'd miss him terribly, and they do miss him, but they've compensated.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent right there.
1st down, 10. Fake, John Parker Wilson drills it to his tight end. And his tight end, Nick Walker, is inside the 15-yard line.
Well, we talked about this in the open. This play-action pass game for Alabama is just devastating because you must stop the run. This is going to be a slam right here and then peel out. Now watch this Florida defense just run. They just got beat for a touchdown, wide open. Now, that's a great call by offensive coordinator Jim McElwain. You just stuffed them for a touchdown. You come back with a play-action pass.
Gain of 13. Nick Walker is the 2nd leading receiver on this football team. Nikita Stover is on, number 9. Here's Mark Ingram, the freshman out of Flint, Michigan. And Lawrence Marsh made the tackle. Marsh was on the injured list for a couple of weeks. He's back. They did lose Brandon Antwine, who was a reserve back, a second teamer at that spot. 2nd and 10. Seven. Julio Jones goes wide to the left. Both tight ends are tight to the left.
And Major Wright is cheating that way. The safety off to the corner here is cheating to help to the outside. He's actually taken 2 men. Is Jones.
Ingram. Nothing. Janoris Jenkins, number 29.
There's Hayden and also Janoris Jenkins. Both of the Florida corners are very good, by the way, but they're 4, 5, 6 inches shorter than Julio Jones. It demands a safety help over the top. Pretty surprised that time that Alabama, you can see it right there, it's almost a head taller than Hayden.
3rd down, 10. Four-man rush. They slant to the right. John Parker Wilson chased in real trouble, and he heaves it well out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Cunningham was the man who forced the incomplete pass. And that's going to bring on Lee Tiffin for the field goal.
See, that's a 5th-year quarterback. And what, frankly, the SEC does not have, a lot of experience at quarterback. That saved the possibility for a 3-point play, throwing that ball away right there.
Tiffin has made his last 4. His longest, you see on the right, was a 54-yarder in this stadium on the opening day against Clemson. This from 30 to break the tie. Fitzgerald holds it. The kick is up. And good. 5 in a row. Special teams set this one up. Tiffin's 3 gives Alabama the lead. When we return, Tebow time. Now, just a footnote. Ole Miss defeated Florida 31-30 on September 27th. This is the first time the Gators have trailed since that game.
Oh, yeah. Not even close. You know, that was a great stop by this Florida defense. First and 10 from the 12-yard line after they got the ball at the 25. Now, Alabama can't let up. Special teams, it's electric. Anytime something could happen.
Tiffin will kick off. Brandon James is the deep man. They chase him way over to his right. Fields it going right and comes up near the 20. Watch it. Tiffin has to make the tackle and does. There's a flag down at the 28-yard line. Tyrone King, number 20, is also there. I know you're such a fan of kickers that you always appreciate it when they...
Well, hey, we need them too. Yeah, I think there was a shove in the back right there that really cleared it. Happened right there. Watch this, right at the top of the circle. He gets shoved right in the back, and that's a pretty easy call.
Yep.
I think it was David Nelson.
Return, illegal block in the back. Number 83 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
The special teams coach at Florida is also the head coach. And they are so good at special teams. Something like that's got to drive him near the brink. And look at Florida. That's the 90th penalty this year.
But the bottom one was the note. The last 2 national champions led the conference in penalties.
On first down, here's Tebow. Got it. That's Lewis Murphy's second catch of the game. And the tackle made at the 22-yard line by Rolando McClain, sophomore from Decatur, Alabama, and one of the great athletes on this defensive unit.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking me this week, how can Mount Cody have an impact on this game? Because it's speed game, it's outside. Cody's not as quick. What he has to do is make sure that Florida has to put 2 guys on him. That'll make one of those linebackers free up. Or if there's one guy, he must tackle that inside dive play.
Oftentimes, it's going to be the Pouncey twins. Here's play action. Tebow fires it short and incomplete for Demps. Good pressure, and Cody was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, nobody blocked him. They kind of invited Cody in on this one, and Cody says, oh wait, two guys, one guy, none guys. I didn't get anybody on this one. Very hard to screen the ball against Alabama because they play combo coverages and they jump short routes.
Gary's putting that mathematics degree from Purdue to
Yeah, right. 2, 1, 0.
Third down.
Kind of like my stock account right now. That's a 2, 1, 0.
Demps alongside Tebow. See what Alabama has in mind defensively. They're going to rush 2 and drop 9. And the 2 who rush do so well, and it's tipped by Kareem Jackson. They got really good pressure from Luther Davis. And how about that wrinkle?
Wow. I'll tell you, one of the things that Nick Saban said going into this game is, because we have to cover the guys inside, our corners cannot give up big plays. I want guys, when the ball's in the air, not just knock it down. You know, when the play's there, please knock it down. He actually told us he will not recruit a corner unless he's ball friendly, comfortable with the ball in the air.
Second consecutive 3 and out. Arenas is back at the 35-yard line. And Chaz Henry, who's had a solid year, averaging just over 42 yards per punt. This one he really nails. And Arenas, I believe he made a fair catch signal. Yes, he did. 49-yard punt. And nothing on the return.
Well, special teams, I always say when you're playing Florida, you better at least tie special teams, or they're going to put 50 on you. Alabama has athletes, too. That's what's coming out in this football game. Arenas, their linebackers, the defensive backs, but you can't let up because Alabama's looking for a big play. Florida's looking for a big play. Both these teams know how important special teams is.
Difference right now is a 30-yard field goal. This is Brandon Spikes, the outstanding middle linebacker. It's 1st and 10. Nikita Stover starts in motion. Up the middle, Coffee. Dustin Doe, number 32, with the tackle.
Well, the coaches say that the left tackle for Alabama, Andre Smith, is the best tackle in football. Watch him. They're going to run behind him right now, right against Carlos Dunlap. He gets a standoff. Coffee breaks it back. A beautiful first down play running right behind. Another pressure point for this Alabama football team. They got Julio Jones, they got Andre Smith, and then they have those 2 tight ends that give you that play-action pass game.
Second down, less than a yard. Final 95 seconds, first quarter. Coffee comes right. First down, Alabama at the 43. We watched earlier this year when this young man rushed for 218 yards against Kentucky.
Yeah.
In a win.
You know, he grows on you. When you watch him on tape to begin with, and I know he's a heralded recruit, but he kind of found his game when Alabama went to this power game. And you think he's maybe just a plugger, but like you said, he's had 2 of the longest runs in the SEC this year.
1st and 10, Coffee with 37 yards right now. Julio Jones, top of the screen. They play him off. And the ball on the ground, they're going to test that middle. Now, last week in Tuscaloosa, we saw Glenn Coffee in the Iron Bowl. And he helped secure a shutout win with 144 yards on the ground.
Yeah, he just demoralized Auburn after a while. You know, I mean, there was a lot of reasons for Auburn to be demoralized. They didn't have any offense, but that was one of the reasons right there.
Tops in the SEC, yards per game, 2nd down and 5. Out of the gun, John Parker Wilson. 4-man Florida rush. Wilson tucks it, breaks the first tackle, crosses the 50, close for the first down. Brandon Spikes with the tackle. And coming up at the half, 2 lucky contestants get a chance to win up to $100,000 in scholarship money in the Dr. Pepper Throw for Scholarship dough. End of 1. And the Florida Gators trail for the first time since the Ole Miss loss. That's the end of the quarter, 10-7. We'll return to the Georgia Dome after this message and a word from your local station. Senior quarterback John Parker Wilson holds all of the career records at the University of Alabama. Would like to get them to the championship game in this resurgent senior season. 12-0, undefeated, ranked number 1, and they lead second-ranked Florida as we get set for the start of the second quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson. It's third down and very short, just across midfield. Left side. Bounces off the tackle. That's another first down for the Crimson Tide. And Gary, let's continue a little conversation about John Parker Wilson. We mentioned at the outset he's managed his team so well this year.
Yeah, and coming into this year, that was a knock. He was high, low, high, low. This year he's been steady. He hasn't ended one of those games. But, you know, Nick Saban won a national championship with a quarterback just like a Matt Mock. Remember that?
Right.
There's been guys to do it. I wrote it down. Craig Krenzel, Jay Barker, even Chris Leak to some extent, okay? These are guys that has a good football team and don't lose the game exactly the way Nick likes to have his quarterback when he's got this type of power team. Jay Barker led the Alabama Crimson Tide to the last national championship. That was in, watch out, 1992. He completed his thought. Well, this thing popped open. And, you know, the proverbial cork in the bottle was the pass to Julio Jones. Since then, this Florida defense had to back up a bit, and now the numbers game has shifted. And that great center, Antoine Caldwell, does a nice job right there opening this one up. Two of the best players in college football, Caldwell and Smith, and the other three guys aren't shabby either on the offensive line. Johnson, Davis, and Davis to the right side. Now Mark Ingram comes in, the freshman who spells Glenn Coffey. That was a gain of 13, and it's a first down at the 33. It'll be Ingram, the freshman, and he is met by Carlos Dunlap. And Dunlap does a little chat over the prone body. John Parker Wilson, look at this, school record passing yards. And look at the guys on top. Bart Starr, Namath, and Kenny Stabler. Stabler? Yeah, well, you know, I tell you, I don't know if there's one Alabama fan who thought coming into this year you'd be able to put John Parker Wilson's name in front of those three guys. And I know it isn't fair yet, but he's had that type of season. And if he wins this thing, he'll have his place in legacy for Alabama forever. 2nd and 9. Ingram is alongside John Parker Wilson. Mike McCoy comes over to the left. 3 receivers left side. Wilson chased by Dunlap, drills it, and Mike McCoy cannot make the catch inbounds. Or it's Ingram, rather. Well, look at the legacy of this Alabama team. Bart Starr led them to an SEC championship. Namath, Stabler. We were all at the SEC Legends dinner last night. Bart Starr is now 75 years of age, and he got into the Legends group for this year. Right. I mentioned it. You know, the bar is set pretty high at this school. Well, yeah, there must be some good players at Alabama. That's what we were thinking. So, well, this Florida defense, by the way, Vern, is, I think, really found its sea legs now. They're backing up with 2 safeties, and they're making Alabama go up the middle of the passing game. On 3rd down 9, spin move inside. And there is a flag and timeout on the field called. Apparently they got the timeout called before the flag was thrown. So we'll step aside. Signed a scholarship offer from Georgia Tech, where she will join Clark Kellogg's daughter on the volleyball team. Yep. Will Hill is in on the defensive back. 3rd down. Blitz. Oh, boy, did they come at him. And there is no flag at the 20-yard line. Janoris Jenkins covering. And Will Hill and Brandon Spikes
had a meeting at John Parker Wilson's middle.
Well, you got to admire the courageous throw here by John Parker, because these guys come right in on him. Watch, he knows he's going to get hit. Stands in there and throws the ball. He stepped right into those two guys to throw that ball. His teammates will notice that that is spectacular quarterbacking by John Parker, and that good blitz call by Florida took him right out of that throw.
49-yard effort now. And this is Corey Smith trying run from 49. It's a fake. Might have known. P.J. Fitzgerald, I'm not so sure about that. You put a guy in who hasn't kicked all year on 4th down and 9.
Well, not only that, I'm surprised Alabama didn't cut him out. Look at right here. They're saying, Ahmad Black is saying, safe, safe. Watch the block. Watch the fake. Excuse me. He knew from that far away that it was unlikely Alabama was going to kick that field goal.
I guess that's an indicator that the defense worked. Georgia Dome, downtown Atlanta, home of the SEC Championship on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper. Florida took the opening drive, 9 plays, went the length of the field, got a touchdown pass, 7-0 lead. Florida with 2 plays, a 64-yard pass, touchdown run, and then the field goal makes the difference.
And on that opening 9 plays, Tebow ran it 4 times and threw it 3 times. If I'm Alabama, I'm expecting Tebow to be more a factor in this series.
Percy Harvin is not playing because of a sprained ankle. Handoff right side, it's Brandon James. And we mentioned Brandon James, and that leads us to Tracy Wilson. Tracy?
Yeah, that's right. Brandon James got hit hard 2 drives ago and then came off again after last series. Still dazed. They did the checks for a concussion, trying to lighten his eyes, checked his balance, asked him some memory questions. As you see, he is back out there, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
Thanks, Trace.
And he hasn't been Percy Harvin either. He has not really done anything.
2nd and 7. Tebow, play fake, has time. Now watch the pressure from the backside. He lets it go, and it is incomplete. Intended for Riley Cooper, who had to go down to the shoe tops. Riley Cooper is Tim Tebow's roommate.
Let's go a little bit to Alabama's philosophy in defending the spread. We talked to Nick Saban a lot about this, and Kevin Steele, his defensive coordinator. He said, number 1, you must defend the box. These running backs line up wide, and they reload back into formation. A lot of guys get a corner stuck playing linebacker. We want our linebackers in the box to stop the run game. Hightower and McClain are both in the box right now.
3rd and 7. Emmanuel Moody is on. He's playing a wide receiver top of the screen. Here's Tebow. Tucks it, runs it. Watch this collision. 1st down, Florida at the 45.
I'm telling you, it's going to be the 2007 Tebow game today. He's either going to throw it, option it, quarterback draw it, or quarterback power game. That's the one system. I was talking to Urban before the game, Fern, and he said Chris Carter gave him a call. And he said when we played Belichick, and he thinks that Saban's a Belichick clone, we used to try to cross him up because he knows he plays our tendencies.
On 1st down, here's Tebow. Deep left side, Riley Cooper is there, has it, out of bounds inside the 5. Roommates connect on a huge pass of 51 yards.
Yeah, a stutter and go by Riley Cooper that time. Watch Riley Cooper, bottom of the screen. Right here, watch him go stutter and go and run the play. Stutter, gets jumped on by Marquise Johnson, then goes right by him, and Tebow throws the ball. That is definitely film work by the coaching staff. They expected that coverage, and they took advantage of it.
Jim Tart replaces Carl Johnson at left guard. Tart, a starter much of the year, shoulder problems. Johnson just limped off. And there's motion. This will cost Florida 5. Looked like Mike Pouncey might have moved, one of the 2 Pouncey twins.
Dead ball. False start. 55. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That is Mike Pouncey.
Well, you know when you say penalty on Pouncey, you got a 40% chance, you know. It's 2 out of 5, right? If you don't know, you go Pouncey.
Yep. The Twins, sophomores out of Lakeland, Florida. First down and 10. Tebow, no deception about this, and he is brought down by Justin Woodall, number 27. Oh, you mentioned Bill Belichick. Just looking at Saban. That's what Urban Meyer and Belichick, Saban have in common. Their friendship with Bill Belichick.
They both have sent players to camp there. They both talk to him, seek his advice.
They have personalities that are somewhat similar.
That's yours. You got that one.
Nick Saban had LSU in this game, and then they won the national title. Right side, nothing. That was Jeff Demps, who's gotten stopped much of the time.
Yeah, this is a Harvin play right here, and Justin Woodall was playing the speed sweep all the way. Watch Woodall. When he sees the motion, he's taught to play the speed sweep. Watch him come up to the top. He's playing the speed sweep, and he's looking for it. I saw it all day yesterday in a walkthrough. Those quick motions from the outside reloading in, the safeties are playing the sweep.
Empty backfield on 3rd and goal. 3 wide left, 2 wide right. Tebow got some room to run. He chooses to do so, and he's brought down short of the goal line by Javier Arenas.
This was not a called quarterback draw. This was good coverage, and Tebow felt the clock ticking and come out of it. And Woodall and Arenas make the tackle.
Urban Meyer sends the field goal team on 4th down and goal. Jonathan Phillips, who's already graduated, was accepted at the University of Miami Law School. And Urban Meyer talked him into coming back and trying to win the field goal job this year. He's been perfect. He's 10 of 10. He went for a 4-game stretch in which he did not attempt one. They score so prolifically. Here is his 11th field goal attempt. Knocked through, and we are tied. So far, it's kind of lived up to its billing. We're tied at 10 in the first half in Atlanta. 8:59 to go, first half. 10-10. Alabama has come back to notch this thing. AP number 1 versus number 2. This is the 41st time in the AP balloting that a 1 has met a 2. First time in the SEC game and the first conference championship game. On this very date, December 6th, 1969, the last time 1 and 2 met in the AP Bowl in December. And it was a memorable game. The University of Texas defeated Arkansas. Darrell Royal over Frank Royals, 15-14. Then President Nixon was in the locker room, and he awarded a trophy. There was no championship game back then, and gave it to Royal. And how about special teams mistake by Javier Arenas? Oh.
Well, let's watch this. Catches the ball on the line. One step. It looked like he had both feet in. Remember, we had this early in the year against Florida with 1 foot. Now, this should be replayed, because if his foot was on the line, that would be an advantage of Alabama here. It would go all the way back to the 40-yard line.
Every play in college football is reviewable, so I'm assuming they're looking at this right now.
Now, and you can't do this, but if Arenas would have realized he could have stuck his foot out of bounds and caught it, and the ball would have gone right up.
So there is no stoppage of play, and the Crimson Tide take over inside their own 5 with 8:58. This is a time for game management by John Parker Wilson. And he hands it off to Mark Ingram, number 22, the true freshman. Brandon Spikes, number 51, led the defensive charge. Well, midway through the first half, here's the duck. Time for the Aflac trivia question. Here it is. Which 2 coaches twice led the number 2 team to wins over the top-ranked teams? We cheated, we know. Second down.
Julio Jones has not touched the ball since that 64-yard completion.
Dare they pass from here? Not on this play. It's Ingram who goes right.
Oh, nice run.
And Brandon Spikes, number 51, puts the stop to it, but Ingram did get out near the 10.
power football, physical football from Florida. I think Florida stood up pretty well on this so far in this football game. Had that one popped run.
I like what you said. They got their sea legs after
think they have,
second
yes.
or third series. Third down, 4. Tie game, 7:48 to go, first half.
Remember last time Florida had that robber defense that they hit the crossing route on? Same situation. Let's see if Florida does the same or Alabama does.
Spikes lined up outside. Oh, there's the diving try from Darius Hanks.
Yep.
He cannot hang on. It's incomplete, and it brings on a fourth down.
Same little crossing route that time. Spikes is the guy that usually plays the quarterback's eyes, but in this defense, he's rushing against the All-American on a speed rush, and Smith handles it okay. The ball had to be thrown perfectly because it was pretty good coverage, and Hanks could not come up with it.
So P.J. Fitzgerald on to punt. Brandon James is near midfield. Javier Arenas with the mistake on special teams, stepping out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
Well, hold on, because this is going to be a big one. Beautiful punt.
And it is. It sure is. Fair catch called by James, and his own man almost backed into him. That was Joe Hayden, who was Hayden got injured.
Boy, the ankle sprains. One guy they don't need is Joe Hayden. Let's see what happens right here. Like he got stepped on from behind by Brandon James on his left ankle, didn't he?
Sure looked that way. Joe Hayden, a sophomore out of Fort Washington, Maryland, high school quarterback. As with so many young men who come in and are asked to make the transition. Take a look at James. Oh, look. His knee caught him in the back of his
yes, his knee
calf.
caught him, and he twisted his ankle at the same time.
So time has been called as the medical staff tends to Joe Hayden, who is up and appears to be okay. We'll be right back.
We're going out, I assume, huh?
This is no night for the squeamish.
Look, Florida rushed for 317 yards last week against Florida State. They only got 56, 39 of them by Tebow.
First down, 10. Handoff on the sweep to the right. This is Brandon James trying to get around the corner. Rashad Johnson, he's going to get called for the horse collar.
This play was strung out properly, but the speed of James was slightly misjudged by Johnson, and he had to try to grab anything that was available.
Rashad Johnson has been a standout this year. He's a young man who was a walk-on from Sulligent, Alabama, little town of 2,000. That one cost him. His team, by the way, is alma mater, playing for the Class 2A state championship in Alabama earlier today. They played Leroy, Alabama. I knew you'd stop whatever you were thinking.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you want to analyze this?
No, but I was. Are they going to win?
I don't know. The game's been played. First down and 10. I can't be the fountain of information for everything.
You got it.
First and 10 after the penalty. Tebow with the option. Keeps it. Dropped by Brandon Fanning, number 98.
Well, all week, people have been asking me, what do you think? What do you think? And I said, the contrasting styles remind me of the trilogy fights between Ali and Frazier. Just the rough, tough Alabama, the pretty Muhammad Ali. It just set up so well, contrasting styles. So the boxing analogy. Florida won the first round. Alabama won rounds 2 and 3. Florida won round 4. Here's round 5. 10-10.
Bertie Pacheco you are. On second down, Tebow. He's in the open, but he doesn't get very far. Rolando McClain. Sophomore. One of the key players on this Alabama defense.
Well, nobody does a better job, as we've talked about, than the free safety Rashad Johnson, understanding. But, they had David Nelson down the middle right here. Tebow did not see him, but pretty good coverage all in all. would have been a perfect throw. Rolando McClain, one of those two really athletic, big-sized linebackers that we talked about.
3rd and 4, empty backfield. 3 wide right, 2 wide left.
Defend the box. Defend the box.
Tucks it, goes left. Oh, there's a little Bronco Nagurski.
You just knew it. You knew they were going to run this quarterback power or draw or ISO. Oh, man. I'm not familiar with this style of quarterbacking, but Rashad Johnson, Rashad Johnson better learn right away that there's no avoiding the guy. You admire Rashad because he knew he was going to get it.
Are you telling me when you had to play the wishbone at Purdue,
no, that didn't happen.
Pitched the ball
yes, I did as
every
much as
time?
I could.
1st down 10. Tebow being chased and has to throw it away. No flag.
I don't see where that one was going to yet.
I don't either. Dante Hightower was the man who was doing the chasing.
The referee was directly behind the quarterback on the play, and he pointed it. I think it was going to Hernandez, 81. Watch the referee. He's going to point to the play.
And he's indicating outside the tackle box.
I don't know. Hernandez was blocking on the play. I don't like that call at all. That's a bad one right there. He was definitely trying to ground that ball.
2nd and 10. 10-10 game. Under 5 to go, 2nd quarter. Play action. Tebow. Caught. 1st and goal at the 5. Aaron Hernandez, who had 2 touchdown catches last week. Gain of 22.
You really can't cover the guy any better than Hightower does. A little play action pass. Perfectly thrown. Hightower's right there. That's kind of how the defense is played, and Tebow puts it right there. It's reminiscent, isn't it? How Tebow won a Heisman a year ago. He's the whole offense today. Without Harvin, he's the offense.
Percy Harvin unable to go. They tested him in a walkthrough last night after they cleared everybody out of this arena. Here's Tebow back under pressure again. Good pursuit by the Alabama defender, Justin Woodall, number 27. Well, 3 times previously we have seen this little play. Tebow, that was the first. That was last year. And then he did it again against Kentucky, and just for good measure, early this season. So with the old-fashioned jump pass, Tebow is 3 for 3. 2nd and 5. Maybe a little too far out for that. He keeps it. Heads for the corner. Can't get there. 3rd down. Brandon Fanny, Javier Arenas.
Fanny does a great job. He's right there staying and looking for Tebow. You know right now, Kevin Steele and the Alabama defensive coaches are saying, guys, do not go for the fakes. I don't think Demps and Rainey can beat us without Harvin. It's the quarterback.
Cooper goes left, 3rd and goal. This is the 2nd time in this ball game that Florida has had a drive of 9 plays. This is the 9th. Moody, wide right. They come inside. Touchdown, David Nelson.
Round 5, Florida.
Percy Harvin looking on. David Nelson, when he was a sophomore or maybe a freshman, was on a cruise ship and somebody mistook him for Chris Leak, the last Florida quarterback. He played along, and for a week he pretended like he was Chris Leak. Leak is here, by the way.
Look what happens. Here's Moody out here with a corner covering him. That means a wide receiver is on a strong safety. That's a bad matchup for Alabama. Now watch where Tebow finds the matchup. He goes to the strong safety. His spread produces the matchup. That's how you run the spread. You put the running back out wide. You take the best cover guy on a guy you're not going to throw it to, and you put the wide receiver on a strong safety. Harvin says, boy, that was well done.
Second touchdown pass for Tim Tebow, and Florida leads by 7. Georgia Dome, the SEC championship, top-ranked Alabama trailing second-ranked Florida now 17-10. The Gators took it 9 plays on the opening drive, got a touchdown pass, 2 plays for Alabama, including a 64-yarder. They came back to tied up 7-7, took the lead on a field goal. Florida tied it up, and now the second 9-play drive and the touchdown pass from Tebow to David Nelson.
Remember when I said with Harvin out, it's going to confuse Alabama a little bit. If Nelson was replacing Harvin there, there's no way they put a strong safety on Harvin. They got a little confused. Florida got the matchup they wanted and took advantage of it.
The kick from Caleb Sturgis. Arenas at the 5. And he's across the 20 out near the 23-yard line. Okay, it's time to cue the duck one more time. Which two coaches twice led a number 2 team to wins over number 1 teams? Joe Paterno and Jimmy Johnson. Paterno, Penn State defeated Georgia, and they defeated Miami. And just a footnote to that story we were telling a while ago about Texas playing Arkansas and President Nixon awarding the trophy to Darrell Royal. Penn State that year was 11-0, and I don't think the Nittany Lions have gotten over what they felt was really an unfair rub.
Let me guarantee you, I've done some of their games, they haven't gotten over it.
On first down and 10. Wilson lobs it out, and he completes the play to Coffey, and that's Brandon Spikes with a tackle. They don't throw to their running backs all that often.
No, they don't. This is a very dangerous time for Alabama. Florida State a week ago was in the football game. It wasn't pretty, but they were in the football game. In the last 2 minutes, Florida State turned it over. 2 quick touchdowns at the end of the half blew the game wide open. Alabama can't get out of their rhythm here and make a big mistake.
This is Coffey, comes left. That appears to be enough for a first down. And let's get more on Joe Hayden. Here's Tracy Wolfson.
That's right. Well, Florida trainers were tending to Joe Hayden's left ankle. They took his cleat and sock off. They taped it up. He did some running on the sideline. He was definitely wincing a bit and limping, but obviously you see him back out there.
Yeah, I think you got to go at him, don't you? You got to test him.
3rd and 1. 1:50 to go first half. 17-10 Florida.
Florida gets a stop here. They'll definitely use a timeout.
Coffey gets it, starts left, and appears this time to have enough to move the chain. Well, we've got the quartet here. That's a lot of security for that bunch. Pass is incomplete. Joe Hayden, he was tested.
He was, but he had help deep that time, so he could squat on that play. Major Wright was behind him, so they were protecting the angle, and Alabama really didn't take advantage of the coverage. Watch Major Wright come back here to help. Squats. There's Major Wright leaning that way. Not quite as bad as I thought. Pretty good read, actually, by the Alabama quarterback to the outside.
John Parker Wilson has missed 5 of his last 6. Julio Jones starts in. Wilson, real trouble. Shakes the tackle. Now he'll have to throw it away. And he heads in the general vicinity of our halftime show group. Will Hill was doing the chasing.
Well, I'll tell you, anytime 3rd down, 2nd down, passing down comes, Florida is bringing people from the outside, this time off the slot, untouched. John Parker Wilson does a nice job of getting away from Will Hill and then throws it away to save it for a 3rd down play.
see Dunlap making the tackle after the pass was unleashed. 3rd and 10. 1:14 to go. Play action. Pressure again. They come near side for Darius Hanks, but he is going to be brought down by Joe Hayden short of the first down.
Minute to go. Surprised Florida's not taking a timeout here.
Well, they got all 3.
I know.
P.J. Fitzgerald is on to punt. Brandon James back at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Demps and Rainey are not in there, so it looks like a return.
This Florida team has blocked 5 punts this year, 7 kicks in all. Nope, the return is on all the way. And the clock is under 25 seconds. That is tactically an unusual decision.
That was a 35-second play right there.
With all 3 timeouts. And especially if James
I don't know. The player was tight roping for a second, and then he went out. Now, you got to know, it's fortunate that that's on the Alabama bench right there. I think James was tight roping, and I think this is a good call by the officiating staff to let this one go.
It's Nick Walker, number 88. Watch him.
But tight, and then right at the end, just that, and you can see it. I think that's no harm, no foul. I'd hate to give Florida, at that point, 15 yards on that play.
And so it'll be 1st down and 10 with only 14 seconds to go. So this is taking knee time. Seven-point game. The difference in the game, a touchdown toss from Tebow to David Nelson of 5 yards. Let's go down to Tracy, who's with Urban Meyer.
Thanks, Vern. Coach, the question going in was how will Harvin's loss affect your offense? Has it so far?
I made the comment before the game, he never replaced him, so it has affected us. But our guys are playing hard. That's a good defense. 2 good teams playing out there.
You've seen guys stepping up. Who specifically are you impressed by?
Well, I think our corners are playing well. We're allowed to load the box right now because they're playing. Joe Hayden and Janoris are doing very well against the corner receivers.
You haven't been involved in a close game in a while. This one just 7 points. Will you address that in the locker room?
This is going to be 30 minutes of great football in the second half.
Will you address it?
Oh, absolutely. We're ready to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Now you saw the graph. Second half about to get underway here at the Georgia Dome as dusk has fallen. 17-10 Florida, and a moment ago Tracy Wolfson had a chance to chat with Nick Saban.
Coach, eliminating big plays was a key point for you coming in. You've been able to do that so far. What didn't you like from your team, though, in the first half?
When we gave them big plays, that's when they scored. We also made 2 errors in the kicking game. We lost our kicker. We shouldn't have tried to fake anyway. But it put us in a position that we didn't want to be in, and then we made an error fielding the ball that would have went out of bounds that cost us field position, and they scored on that. But I just think that we got to continue to mix it up on offense, create some big plays of our own, and control the field position in the game to stop their offense.
Will Lee Tiffin be back?
Yeah, he's back.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Lee Tiffin poked in the eye when he made a tackle on a kickoff return, and Nick Saban referencing the fake field goal when Corey Smith came on. Would have been a 49-yard attempt, and they faked it. Didn't work. So Tiffin will kick off. Brandon James, Keyston Moore are the 2 deep men. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson. Second half, 1 against 2. This is Brandon James near the goal line. Now farther away from the goal line. He's out near the 30-yard line. First down and 10. Well, Percy Harvin, the decision made that he could not go today. The sprained ankle they've adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, Florida's pretty good. I mean, no Harvin, and Alabama played well. You know, as Nick said, no turnovers, 1 penalty, only 2 big plays for Florida, and they trail 17-10. It's been Tebow. You know, Florida's run 32 plays. 24 have been Tim Tebow. 13 passes and 11 rushes. He's the whole offense. Alabama must stop this guy if they expect to win.
And he opens in the spread. First down at the 31-yard line. Always opens in the spread. Here's the handoff in the cutback play. It goes to the left. That was Demp's halftime trends, Gary.
We see it. Tebow ran the ball 13 times. Threw the ball 13 times. He ran the ball for 49 yards. Wilson was under a lot of pressure, I thought, Vern. You know, a lot of blitz packages from Florida that kept, I think, John Parker from throwing the ball away many, many times. It's the first time Alabama has trailed this season at halftime.
Second down and 5. Here's Tebow moving to his left, breaks the tackle, and then he's caught and dropped. It'll be 3rd and 6 or 7. As Dedrick and Fanny combined for the stop. Well, Tebow 8 of 13 for 110 yards.
I'm kind of glad Nick agrees with me that was not a good idea to take the fake field. Because I know next time I see him, he'll know what I said. I go, yeah, Nick, me and you, we're on the same page on that.
If you folks listening at home think the coaches don't watch these tapes.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, brother. 3rd down. Keyston Moore, 3rd and 7. That's Moore going to the left. Here's Tebow. Rush from the outside. Tebow steps up, fires it one hopper at the feet of Lewis Murphy. That's the 3rd time in the ball game, 3 and out for the Gators. And Rolando McClain, number 25, with the rush.
Yeah, they keep the linebackers in the box. Now, Tebow could have made this throw. The touchdown throw was just as difficult as that he made. This one was short and in one hopper.
Chaz Henry on for the 3rd time in the ball game, and Javier Arenas at the 25. Both of these teams with great punt return specialists. James for Florida, Arenas for Alabama. Nice. Oh, boy. Booms it. Look at Arenas backing up. Caught inside the 10. Wandy Pierre-Louis. A couple of years ago, Arkansas fumbled the punt. Wandy Pierre-Louis recovered in the touchdown in the end zone for a touchdown. Give me a chance, I'll get it straight. Presents today's Scholar Athlete. And we've got a scholar athlete from each school, Antoine Caldwell. He's already graduated Human Environmental Sciences. He's going after a 2nd degree in financial planning. And guess who it is for for Florida. 3.7 grade point average. Major in family, youth, and community sciences. 2-time academic All-American winner. And very much back in the Heisman conversation.
I think so, too. I think Nick tipped it off to Tracy. He wants to mix it up a little bit more on 1st down. Maybe a little more play-action passes. Look for the tight ends to get involved here with some play-action plays.
There's a sprint going on of in excess of 100 yards. The guy, well, we'll talk about it in a second. Here's Wilson, gets rid of it, and it's incomplete. The fellow who has the drive marker, where a drive begins in college football, was at the complete opposite end of the field.
He must have been daydreaming, huh?
Well, he was not in a race with Demps.
Right.
There he is. Now, he's breathing hard, I'll tell you, folks.
Well, one guy that hasn't been breathing too hard in this game is Brandon Spikes. He's been a little quiet. He's been so dominant for Florida. But look at this. He reads, John Parker told us yesterday that Brandon Spikes reads my eyes, or the quarterback's eyes on film, better than any middle linebacker we've seen all year.
2nd and 10. Coffee across to the 12-yard line. Joe Hayden is there, number 5. Coffee's numbers, 11 for 65 so far in the game.
Well, middle linebackers get action from every angle. This time Spikes is going to get it from big Andre Smith. Watch him. Takes on Andre, stuffs the play, and then tosses him away.
3rd and 7. blitz. Wilson caught by Julio Jones. Right in front of Major Wright, number 21. And that is an Alabama first down, a gain of 18.
When we talk about matchups, Julio Jones is going to go out of safety this time for Alabama because the corner blitz was picked up by Alabama. So Julio runs a route against Major, and you see Major Wright is not comfortable with the ball in the air like Hayden and Jenkins are. He's a safety.
Right.
They're not built the same.
And that 18-yard gain gives Alabama a first down. They get out of a huge hole. John Parker Wilson, play action, right side. A lot of zip on the ball. It's Julio Jones again, and he reaches out to the 37-yard line. Well, 17-10 here. We said when we came on the air, it's a de facto semifinal. These are the current BCS standings. The finals will be released tomorrow night. Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida. Southern Cal is winning over UCLA right now. Oklahoma plays Missouri tonight.
You know who I think has a little bit of an argument? Penn State.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Iowa's playing ball well at the end of the year. One loss. Everybody else had one loss.
Yeah, they don't seem to be included in the discussions about one-loss teams. Here's Coffey. Big hole right side. And again, they crossed themselves. They talked about self-scouting. Yeah. And they're running a little bit more to the right than we've seen. Yeah,
it's you could see, though, that what Nick said at halftime is, let's mix it up early and then go back to the run. Andre Caldwell, nice job by the center that time. Gets on the defensive tackle and makes it work. Get the ball to Coffey deep, even though guys are somewhat doing their job. That time Sanders, number 92, is doing a decent job, but you're not going to bring down Coffey with one arm.
Antoine Caldwell, one of 9 seniors on this Alabama team. Play action.
Yep, back to
tight end. Yeah.
You can see it.
Knee came down at the 47-yard line. Well, this is an Alabama senior team. Only 9 scholarship seniors on the ball club.
Right. You know, John Parker Wilson, we're going to run the same thing. Going to slam over here, then go to the outside. Nick Walker, they ran it both ways now, to the right and the left. Sometimes defensive coaches, like Belichick's doing in the NFL with his offense, and now Nick Saban, kind of understand what the defenses have problems with. I bet he went in there and said, we got to mix it up more.
2nd and 2. They've certainly done that in the early going here. And they've got another first down. This is Coffey plunging this time. Split the difference with Antoine Caldwell, Mike Johnson, and Andre Smith. And the gain of 7.
And you know what you like is, even though Alabama is throwing the ball a little bit more, they haven't panicked. That's the one thing that we heard from Jim McElwain, the offensive coordinator for Alabama. He says, I have to resist. If Florida scores, panicking and trying to get it back all in one shot. I got to be methodical and run our offense.
McElwain is in his first year as the offensive coordinator. Here's play action. John Parker Wilson, a little high, but it's caught.
Wow.
Oh, boy, Julio Jones.
Is he gifted or what? That was a great throw by John Parker. But he is so comfortable. Watch him go out and snap this ball. It's the deep square in. Terry Bradshaw's favorite pass. Off a play-action pass. Well, it's all of our favorite pass.
Oh, there you are.
The square in. And Julio Jones, watch him get inside, straighten up, then come to the inside and jump up and just snap it with it. He's a hand catcher. You love it as a quarterback.
That's a gain of 14. He's got 4 receptions for 102 yards. They'll hand it off to Coffey, goes right, and he gets close to the 20-yard line. This is a very impressive opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, it's impressive for 2 reasons. They're making first downs, they're throwing the ball, they're mixing it up, okay, and they're keeping the Florida offense on the sideline.
Julio Jones had a 64-yard catch on the second Alabama possession. That set up a touchdown. He subsequently caught 3 more. He goes to the right.
Still 2 deep safeties for Florida.
Coffey has 14 carries for 87 yards. Play action. Oh, boy, did they fool Tratto. Now look at John Parker Wilson trying to. He's got a man open. Overthrows him.
Wow. I'll tell you, this kid is impressive, Julio Jones. He broke his route off. He saw that John Parker Wilson was in trouble, so instead of coming across the formation, he stopped and went the other way. He's got to be out of gas. Bootleg coming back, defended perfectly by Florida this time. Nothing there. He looks back for Julio Jones. Julio Jones sticks his hand up and just overthrown.
This is the 11th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 5. Florida brings only 4. Coffee goes right. Shakes the tackle. Oh, wow, it's right.
Should have been a stop. Florida could have got out of this with a field goal. This play was defended. A missed tackle inside, that time by Brandon Hicks.
Coffee has 1 touchdown in the ball game. He's closing in on yet another 100-yard effort. 15 carries for 93 yards. 1st and 10. Work him again, right side. This time it's stuffed. Glenn Coffee, junior from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. That was a terrific play.
Yeah, he's got great vision. You know, Mark Ingram a couple times ran the wrong hole, and I think that's why we're seeing so much Coffee. But interesting, Julio Jones was out of gas, and Coffee's out of gas. So now they got Julio Jones back in the game. But this long drive, the special players for Alabama are just sucking wind right now.
2nd down.
Now, Urban Meyer doesn't like it. He's going to take a timeout.
Gators use 1 of their 3. Time is called with 7 minutes, 32 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter. 17-10, opening drive, 3rd quarter. The Crimson Tide. This will be their 13th play of this drive. They've split it. 6 runs, 6 passes.
You know, it's been Coffee and Ingram because Roy Upchurch has not been able to go. They tried him late last week against Auburn. Couldn't go, so they're down to 2 backs. And Upchurch is a good pass protector for Alabama.
Neck spasms for Upchurch have cost him a chance to play in this game. 2nd and 10. 2 wide to the left. They'll try Ingram. Ingram to the 5. Close for a 1st down. Mark Ingram Jr. from Flint, Michigan. His dad was a wide receiver at Michigan State when Nick Saban was an assistant on that staff. Later played for the New York Giants.
This guy is going to be a monster before he leaves Alabama. He's fast, he's big, he's determined. Made a couple mistakes running early, but boy, oh boy. You know, Vern, I would think maybe Alabama has something here against Florida. They've been running right a lot, haven't they?
Yes.
They're not just busting keys here.
3rd and a foot. Baron Huber's in, the blocking back. They come left this time, and Ingram gives Alabama a 1st and goal. A helmet comes off. Is that Dunlap? It is. Carlos Dunlap lost his lid. Ryan Stamper with the pass.
Well, this game has been as advertised. Neither teams are coming out of their style. They don't give an inch. Both teams are making plays. Both coaches understand it's a long game. Blocking and tackling is going to win this thing.
14 plays so far to go 89 yards. Travis McCall in motion. Ingram, touchdown, Crimson Tide.
What a drive. Listen, you don't go to this part of the season undefeated if you don't have some heart. Tebow has it, but this team has it too.
Lee Tiffin for the tie. A little bit of a high snap. P.J. Fitzgerald gets it down. Mark Ingram 2-yard touchdown run and the extra point. We're tied at 17.
Well, we saw just about everything on this 15-play drive. Remember, it started on their own 9-yard line, and it's exactly what Nick told Tracy. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's keep Tebow on the sideline and play Bama football. Well, you got to have your tools calibrated together. Now watch, they are in sync here. John Parker steps up, throws the ball in sync to Julio Jones. When you got a 6'4", 6'5" receiver, your target is about 10 feet wide, and then you finish it off with a little hammer and nails. That's what you do when you got those tools working right.
I'm taken with the fact that you got calibrated into a sentence of the broadcast. You go polysyllabic on me. I like that.
No, that's as far as I go.
All right. How impressive was the drive capped by Mark Ingram? 15 plays, 91 yards. They ran it 9 times, and they passed it 6.
Alabama did not overreact. There's a lot of things that are going to happen in this game yet. There's still going to be drop balls, penalties, a lot of time.
Brandon James is the deep man. He takes Lee Tiffin's kick at the 7. Stays left. Finds the traffic lane clogged. And the tackle made by Chris. Tim Tebow had to sit and watch for more than half of the third quarter.
Right. Well, we had Dennis Haysbert do our tees. Tim Tebow's like the snake doctor for Florida. You got to have the snake doctor stopped, or Florida will move the ball.
First down and 10. Steps back. He goes left. He got a foot. Oh, yes. Lewis Murphy. A little nifty move, and he got open for a 34-yard gain.
Well, the nickname for Dennis Haysbert on the unit is Snake Doctor. And this time he snaked Alabama with a play-action pass. From that, Murphy goes one-on-one. Decent coverage, could have been holding right there, but Murphy frees up later, and a perfect throw from Tim Tebow.
34-yard gain, first down at the 37. Here's the option, the pitch. Right side is Jeffrey Demps. He's caught by Rashad Johnson, but he still does get 2 additional yards. A gain of 7.
We saw Aaron Hernandez catch a ball downfield. Watch him get a block right here. I think this is Hernandez right there on this option. He's going to arc block to the outside, and watch him take down Woodall. Outside leg. You throw at the outside ankle and knee, and that's what did it on that option play.
Second down, 3.
Boy, you throw a pass, you throw a play-action pass, you come back with an option. I'll tell you, the quarterback, the whole offense without Percy Harvin is 15.
Demps, little cutback. Goes right up the center, splits the lane between the Pouncey twins. And Terrence Mount Cody made the tackle. Well, Demps for the day, 6 for 30. Brandon James, 3 for 7. And David Nelson has a touchdown catch that momentarily gave Alabama Florida the lead.
But amazingly, really nobody's replaced him. I think Dan Mullen was right. This is a different offense without Percy Harvin on the field.
First down and 10 in a game that's tied at 17 under 5 to go. Third quarter. Pitch to Demps. Alabama strings it out. He gets 1 to the 25. Orlando McClain, the outstanding linebacker, sophomore.
Let's go back again and just go over how difficult Alabama said this Florida offense is preparing for. In fact, Kevin Steele told me, I don't know how they practice it all. I really don't. He said there's 3 buckets, and then they run 4 different offenses in 3 different buckets of formations. He said it's the darndest thing he's seen in a long time.
Here's the ultimate empty backfield. Everybody spread wide. Tebow goes back, goes in the corner left side. It's incomplete.
Boy, all the shifting and adjustments that Alabama has to do with just one guy going in motion for Florida. And what happens is it's trips to the right and twins to the left. A guy goes in motion, all of a sudden you got 4 receivers right. He goes back, it's 2. It's really, really given this Alabama defense that likes to morph as the offensive systems change, a lot of trouble here.
Demps will split wide to the right now on third down. 5-man rush for Alabama. Tebow had him. He had him, but it's incomplete. Carl Moore, the intended receiver.
Yeah, that's one of the few that Tim has been really off You did. You called it right, Vern. 5-man rush. Both inside linebackers come. The ball was thrown really, really behind that time. A good throw would have been a play down to the 5-yard line at least.
Jonathan Phillips has not missed this year. His long for the season is 40 yards. This one from 42 to break the tie. James Smith centers it. Butch Rowley holds it. Jonathan Phillips misses it.
Slightly wide right. More than slightly.
3 minutes, 48 seconds. Yeah, you help it, Nick. Push that baby out of the way. We're tied at 17, and now for an SEC moment presented by Sonic. Let's go to Tracy Wolfson.
Vern, these teams have met in the SEC championship game 5 times. In the first ever title game, Alabama won on their way to the national championship. The Gators won the rematch the following year. In the first ever title game in the Georgia Dome, Florida held on for a dramatic win. The Gators won again 2 years later on their way to their first national championship. Alabama claimed its 21st and most recent championship in 1999.
Well, the Alabama faithful celebrating the missed field goal, which leaves us at 17 all with 3:48 to go. And look at the yardage totals.
Yeah. Now
look at the man.
It's a close. That's right. It's tight, I think, right?
Yes, it is. Travis McCall in motion, number 83. John Parker Wilson play action. He's got his other tight end wide open. This is Nick Walker, who bangs across the 40.
This now is starting to remind me of the offense that Alabama used in the opener, the tape I watched against Clemson, when those tight ends caught so many balls early. You can see again, Alabama went in at halftime and said, you know what, we had one good drive in the first half. It's when we threw the ball to Julio Jones. Come back now, they open it up, they have another good drive. They come back again, they start out with a pass play to the tight ends to loosen up this Florida defense.
Gain of 17, 1st and 10, play action again. Wilson, a lot of time, tucks it, he'll run it. He cuts right, and he's crossed the 50 and is down at the 48-yard line. Will Hill and Ahmad Black with the stops.
Well, great coverage. He wanted to come back to the backside, did John Parker, on the play-action pass. It was not covered very well, so he makes a positive out of a negative. That's one of those quarterbacks that Nick Saban says, I can win with.
2nd and 1.
Decision maker.
Here's Coffee coming left. This should be a 1st down at the 47-yard line. Well, both coaches, as most coaches do in any game, emphasize the absence of turnovers. This is a Florida team that is plus 21 turnover ratio for the season. Alabama has not turned it over yet, nor has Florida.
Yes, and you know, Urban Meyer's teams, I mean, he's done this forever. I mean, he was since he started coaching at Bowling Green in 2001. He has the fewest turnovers for a team of any team, all his teams combined.
1st down and 10, Coffee right side. Wow. All the way to the 37. Well, the backup defensive tackles not able to go today, so it's a thin defensive line. More on that from Tracy.
That's right, Brandon. Antwine out with a knee injury suffered last week. A lot of these defensive linemen came in banged up. Defensive end Justin Trado now dealing with a left knee injury. He is on the sideline. He did go in for one play. Something to keep an eye on.
Okay, Trace, thank you.
You know, now, remember the analogy we used a little early, that this is Frazier versus Ali. Well, Alabama's now, those body punches, those runs up the middle are starting to take a toll, just like Tracy said. Those body punches are catching up. They opened it up with the tight ends and Julio Jones, but now Frazier, the body punches are starting to land.
Coffee has crossed over 100. You saw that graphic. Play action again. Gets a good block from Coffee. Julio Jones to the 11.
They've got this Florida team guessing. Watch how disciplined Julio Jones is. He comes and it's square. He does not round this thing off. One-on-one coverage. Comes down, fakes it, square, right down the line. That is so good. Every quarterback that's ever played says, oh, I wish my guys would run those square ins just like that.
He's a 6'4" freshman from Foley, Alabama. He's caught 5 in this game for 124 yards. John Parker Wilson rolls out. Chase shakes the tackle. Adjustment in the end zone. Knocked away. Janoris Jenkins stayed with his man, who was Nikita Stover.
Well, that's it, Jake. You are right. Because Stover tried to go a change of direction, and Jenkins, the true freshman, made the play. Watch, Stover's going to go right, but when he sees John Parker, Jenkins keeps his eye on his guy and then reacts and finds the ball. Wonderful play.
There's another true freshman against one of the seniors, Nikita Stover. Again, they're 9. Will Oakley, one of the senior scholarship players, unable to go with an injury. The other 8 giving a lot. Second down. Coffee. Not much available. And he's down at the 10 by Jay Howard. Third down. There's on my black, number 35.
If you're Florida now, you can't give Alabama a fade to the corner of the end zone. You can't give them an easy touchdown. You must make them work for it. And there's Julio Jones to the outside. No, it doesn't look like the right formation for it.
Jones in motion. Now goes back the other way. Roll out by John Parker Wilson. Chased. Caught. Throws it underhanded. But Dustin Doe was down around the ankles. No discussion here about being outside the tackle box.
No, and he got it past the line of scrimmage and out of bounds. So he saves an easy field goal shot. I really didn't like this call. Sprint out at this situation right here. Too much flow for the fast defense. Julio Jones was open early on this thing, but that wasn't going to work. That play was a dead one from the beginning.
Lee Tiffin, the junior out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, for the field goal from 27 yards out. Alabama leads. And Gary, look what they've done in this quarter. They've had the ball twice. They went 15 yards, 15 plays for a touchdown. They give Florida a 7-play drive, and then boom.
All the way back.
We've reached the... Oh, we haven't quite reached the end of 3. Let's come back for 8 seconds. Number 2 near the end of quarter number 3. Coming up later in the ball game, the 5-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. Lee Tiffin will kick off. Number 99 just authored that 27-yard field goal that, at least for the moment, has given Alabama the lead. Brandon James waits behind Keyston Moore inside the 10. From the goal line, James comes right, gets a couple of good blocks. Breaks out of another tackle and has a first down, Florida at the 38-yard line. Ali Sharif, number 26, with the tackle for the Crimson Tide. That's the end of the third quarter with our score. Alabama 20, Florida 17. Will return to the Georgia Dome right after this word from your local station. We welcome you back to the Georgia Dome as we begin quarter number 4. 1 versus 2, 20 versus 17. It's Alabama leading Florida. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson on the first Saturday in December 2008. First down and 10. Tebow and the Gators at their own 38-yard line. Hand off to Demps. He tries to sweep right. And a nice pickup for the Florida Gators on 1st down and 10. But the one thing that Nick Saban and Alabama accomplished in that third quarter, ball control.
Oh, man. Alabama ran 38 offensive plays in the first half. They ran 24 offensive plays in the third quarter. And now Nick has this game where he kind of wants it. He didn't want this 30-point game. Remember, Florida has scored 30 points on every SEC team this year. He's got this game where he wants it right now.
2nd down and 2 at the 46. Emmanuel Moody struggles for the 1st down, and he might have enough.
Everybody asked me all week of doing the interviews, who do you like? Who do you like? Who do you like? And I said, you know, both teams can win this game. Now we're in the 4th quarter of this game. Both teams can win this game. You know, I mean, this is just 2 good football teams. Both coaches have been saying that all week.
Now, one of the times when 1 versus 2 has lived up to the billing. There have been others, of course. We talked about Texas, Arkansas. How about Michigan, Ohio State a couple of years ago? Memorable games between Oklahoma and Nebraska. Well, here we are for the SEC championship in this de facto semifinal in the BCS, and it's 20-17. Tebow, handoff, left side. This is Emmanuel Moody again, the young man from North Texas who began his collegiate career as a tailback at Southern California. Decided to transfer when he found himself way down the depth chart. Sat out last year and had 1 big game this season. But it's been Demps and Rainey more than it has Moody and Harvin at that tailback spot.
Everybody said, what does Mount Cody do in this game? Demps and Rainey have not been able to make the dive play work right up the middle that's been gutting everybody.
Marquise pouncing over the ball. His brother to his right. Here's Brandon James. They give it off, and they try that little cutback again. Brandon Fanning, nothing there. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, for all of Tebow's accomplishments, and we know what they are, look at this one. Might surprise you if you've been following Tim Tebow. Now, he hasn't been a lot behind in his career, but he's never won from behind. 0-5.
Has a chance to change that. 3rd down and 3.
That's like a Tiger Woods stat, isn't it? Ever won a major trailing or something?
Yes. Chris Rainey is on the field. So is Jeff Demps. He's behind Tebow. They pitch it to Demps. Dante Hightower is there, the true freshman. There's a flag. We might have a face mask.
Yep. Hightower, big, rangy linebacker for Alabama, but the speed of Demps. Remember when Rashad Johnson early misjudged the speed on Brandon James and got the horse collar? I think there was a little bit of misjudgment here. He reached out and grabbed the face mask.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Second penalty of the game, and both of them were very similar. Rashad Johnson and Dante Hightower.
This is a seldom penalized Alabama team. The contrast couldn't be greater between the two. Alabama came in with only 48 penalties in the season, almost double that for Florida. But this one gives the Gators a 1st down inside the 30. And it's Keyston Moore at tailback. Tebow has it, pulls back, settles for the safety valve, who was David Nelson. He gets by Dante Hightower and Rashad Johnson, and he gives the Gators a 1st down at the 15.
Well, that was pretty wonderful by Florida here in Tim Tebow. Watch how he takes his time, looks deep, doesn't have it, and then drops it off real late to Nelson coming across the formation. A very positive play. Alabama had the first option covered. Second option covered. Tebow went to number 3.
David Nelson has a touchdown catch in this ball game. Demps and Moody are both on the field.
It's almost all 3 back, tight end and 2 Wildcat.
Tebow is to the left. Up the middle. Demps.
Now that would be Harvin.
Yeah.
Harvin would be the running back. Now it's Demps. Here's Tebow down here, and they're just going to run a little bit of change up against this Alabama defense.
2nd and 5.
I mean, Demps can't go 170, 175, running right up the gut.
Harvin unable to play because of a badly sprained ankle. Now Tebow has Hernandez by his side. This was run all the way, and Alabama knew it.
Yep.
Had to set up another third down. Bobby Greenwood, number 93, with the tackle. Bobby Greenwood's dad is a big Florida fan. The family moved from Florida, Prattville, Alabama, when he was in the 9th grade. So he said, this one is for my dad and me, his father, Bill. I think his dad's probably not rooting for Florida.
No,
just a guess.
Pretty much assured of that.
3rd and 5. 2017, under 11 to go. Nelson and Cooper go wide to the right side. Lewis Murphy is wide left. Demps is behind Tebow. Blitz threatened, blitz coming. Option inside. Hernandez, the tight end. 1st and goal, Florida.
So many ways to attack you. This is the shovel pass inside. Hernandez gutted Florida State with this play. And they come the same way now against Alabama. Hernandez so valuable. You know, Urban Meyer has quoted us as saying Hernandez is going to be an outstanding NFL tight end.
1st down goal. Now it's Keyston Moore and Jeff Demps are the running backs. Tebow struggles, leans, and caught short of the goal line.
Man, oh man. That's our best short yardage running back in college football. Look at him take it on, spin off, go through a linebacker to defensive end, and ball just a little bit short and then carried over.
One of the more inexplicable plays of this season for the Gators is that in that Ole Miss game, Tebow, with his team trailing by 1, faced a 4th and 1, and he was caught short.
Right.
And that led to the very emotional speech that I think we've all seen and heard. Estepinen is back on the field, and it's Demps behind Tebow on 2nd down. The pitch. Demps strolls in. Touchdown, Florida. They reclaim the lead.
Well, I guess we know Tim Tebow is not the reason they're 0 for 5 when he's the quarterback, when he's behind, because he executed that drive perfectly.
Jonathan Phillips for the extra point. Percy Harvin, all he can do today is hope he gets one more chance to play for the national championship. They're assured of a New Year's Day game or thereabouts, a BCS game. Here's the extra point. It's up and good.
Well, if you're Alabama, you gotta say it's going to be a short yardage Tebow right up the gut. So what does Dan Mullen do, offensive coordinator? He gives him a little option. Tate Casey, beautiful block to the outside on Rashad Johnson, and a walk-in for Demps.
2nd touchdown of the season, 1st of this game. Jeff Demps, Cornelius Ingram, applaud from the sidelines.
It's time for our Geico scoring recap.
Alabama on the board first. Carl Moore, a 3-yard touchdown reception from Tebow, was 7-7. Glenn Coffey answered on the subsequent drive for the Crimson Tide with a nice touchdown run, 7-all after the 18-yarder. Lee Tippin put Alabama on top 10-7. At the other end, Jonathan Phillips tied it up with this 19-yard field goal, 10-10 the score, and then in the 2nd quarter, Tebow to David Nelson. At the half, it was 4-17 to 10. Mark Ingram got a 2-yard touchdown run to tie it up yet again, and then Tippin's 27-yard field goal put the Crimson Tide on top. The 4th lead change in the ball game occurred just a moment ago. The option to the left side, and Jeff Demps strolled in, little hurdle involved. That's perfect for a track star. And it's 24-20 with 9:21 to go.
Well, Florida gave Alabama a little taste of their own medicine. 11 plays, 10 of them runs.
And the kick. Arenas at the goal line. Pretty good return, huh?
Yeah.
Joe Hayden made the tackle. And after the touchdown, this Florida team that has lost only once this year, Tim Tebow, Brandon Spikes. What did Bobby Bowden say? He's the best leader I've seen in college football.
You know, I heard Archie Manning say it too. The best football player I've seen play quarterback.
First down and 10. John Parker Wilson with a pump fake. Goes deep right side for Julio Jones. Double coverage. Oh, that was close. Incomplete. Uh-oh. Jones down. Notice how quiet it got.
Yeah. Try to hitch and go on first down. You can see Major Wright, number 21, come in there late. He still favors Julio Jones' side on every play.
Second and 10. Test the middle. Gain of 3. Ren Coffey. Lawrence Marsh, number 90, defending. And for Coffey, that's 21 carries for 112 yards.
And remember, last time in this situation, 3rd and long, Florida blitzed. Alabama picked it up, and then Alabama completed the pass. What will Charlie Strong do this time?
You see Julio Jones out for one play, back on the field. Nikita Stover wide to the left. Coffey, the running back, on 3rd and 8. 3 down for Florida. They bring 4. John Parker Wilson nailed Jermaine Cunningham with his 6th sack of the year.
Oh, it was a tackle, defensive end stunt this time that got the Alabama tackle and guard confused. Watch, comes in and then comes around. In and comes around. Both players go for one over here, and Cunningham makes the sack. Beautifully designed pass rush by Dan McCarney, the defensive line coach for Florida.
Cunningham is a junior out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. First sack for the Gators today, P.J. Fitzgerald. Brian Selman will snap it back. And Brandon James awaits it near the 20. Short kick. James from behind. Oh, he's sandwiched. Ouch. That was Selman, number 50, the man who snapped it back, who was up high on the tackle. "37-yard punt. 4 painful yards on the return. Gators lead it by 4. "24-20. We have had 4 lead changes. It's 1 versus 2. We have 7:27 to go. A berth in the BCS championship game on the line. An undefeated season as well. Here's Demps out to the 40-yard line. The current BCS standings have Alabama number 1, Oklahoma 2, Texas currently 3, and Florida 4th. Southern Cal leading UCLA out west is 5th. There's Utah, Texas Tech, Penn State. Controversy is sure to come.
Well, the Alabama defense can't play soft now. They have to attack. If Florida puts a 5-minute drive on and scores, the game's over.
Tebow has rushed only twice in this half. They didn't have the ball much in the 3rd quarter, but he's -2. Keeps it this time. There's the pitch again. Lewis Murphy on the end around, and he's close for a first down. Looks like he'll be a couple of feet short.
I know, in that huddle, before Florida came out on the field, Urban Meyer looked at the clock and said, guys, give me 1 5-minute drive. If we score, we're going to play for the national championship. Alabama and Nick must get aggressive here. They can't sit back anymore.
They'll do so on this play without Lewis Murphy. He is limped off and is on the Florida bench. Keyston Moore is a running back.
Tebow power here.
3rd and 1. You'd think. There he goes. That looks as if he's got enough.
Yeah, and it was a perfect 3 plays for Florida. 3 plays, first down. Minute and a half, almost 2 minutes off the clock.
First down 10, Gators.
It's going to force Alabama to bring people and try to change this real quick now. They're going to have to gamble outside and go one-on-one and attack the line of scrimmage.
Lewis Murphy is back on the field. First down 10. The clock runs with 5:40 to go. Moody is the running back.
Here they come.
Yep, from the corner. Tebow goes right side. He's got a man. Lewis Murphy, huge play.
See, Florida's one step ahead of them. They knew, we knew, that they're going to get a blitz. One-on-one to the outside. You knew Alabama was going to have to do it. Here's the safety coming in. Tebow sees it, and you know you got one-on-one to the outside. Beautiful throw, ball to the outside shoulder. It's strategy. It's strategy in these games.
Nick Saban feared the big play. He said we need to contain them. They've had 4 plays in excess of 20 yards now. That one was for 33. First down and 10. Tebow drills it. High in the catch. Aaron Hernandez. Boy, there was some pop on that ball.
Now think about this. That was Bronco Nagurski throwing a fade, and now here's Bronco Nagurski running a play-action pass and gunning it on a 4 seams. It may not be pretty, but there's a lot of athletes on this Florida team.
Bronco Nagurski in both the College Football Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame. Played for Minnesota as a defensive tackle and fullback, 1927 to 29. Here's Tebow, 12 of 20 now. And it's a first and goal, Gators, with 4:35 to go. Tebow. 1 yard line.
I don't take the ball out of Tebow's hands because I know he won't fumble. Although did he get stung here, or he's going to go for a play?
Little casual chat with Urban Meyer.
Troutwine comes around and gets the key block here, and Tebow gets it down to the end. Now, bleed the clock. I'm sure that's what Urban said. Make sure we get all 40 seconds out of that clock.
Estepinen is in the backfield, and they've got to reset the clock. There's a problem with the clock. The play clock had started. Now it's been reset. It was already down to 5. Now there's
there's a flag on the field. Too many men on the huddle, maybe? Oh, the sideline, and they don't get a warning anymore.
Dead ball. Sideline interference against Florida. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, the rules. I don't like it, but the rule's the rule. Ask Jake Locker from Washington about this rule. You know, he did the celebration one. The Florida coaches did enter the field. Remember, they were down on the 1-inch line. What a call. Watch the Florida coaches. That's the proper call. Might not like it. Urban's all the way out there. He can't yell at anybody.
No, he can't. And so, instead of 1 yard away, make it just inside 6.
Play clock is going down.
Third and goal.
Look how different that call was. Now remember, just a year ago, that would have been a warning. This year, it's an automatic 5-yard penalty. This could be all the difference in the world here. A field goal versus a touchdown.
Clock still evaporating, 3:15 remaining.
I don't see what's wrong with a warning personally, but that's the rule.
Yep. And that was the head coach. Red zone offense today. Third and goal. Emmanuel Moody is split wide left. Blitz. Tebow back. Tebow drills it. It's caught. Touchdown. Riley Cooper. roommate to roommate.
This guy's unbelievable. Come on now. You can't do this stuff. He put that ball the only place he could do it. He's taken on SEC linebackers and defensive ends and tackles all year, and he still makes those throws here down the stretch.
Under 3 to go. Percy Harvin gives his leader and quarterback a hug. Jonathan Phillips, extra point. Good. Remember, he promised after the loss to Ole Miss, no one will try harder. Bobby Bowden said he's a great leader. Look at this, Gary.
It's unbelievable.
That's the kickoff team.
I'll ask it this way. If you had first draft pick and you were starting a franchise in college football, who would you take?
In college football, I'd take him. I think he's one of the great players in the history of the game.
So do I.
I really, really do.
And everybody in this league has been out to kill him this year.
Yes.
I haven't done it. And that's nothing against Bradford and Colt McCoy. Those guys are outstanding football players and will be good pros, too.
31-20. Here's the kick. Arenas from 3 yards into the end zone. Taken down at the 16.
How could you not go down fast after Tebow called you out?
And Dustin Doe was the first one there. Caleb Sturgis also a part of it. 2:45 to go. An undefeated #1 ranked Alabama team. But they need 11 to tie, 12 to take the lead. And Mark Ingram will be the quarterback.
No, John Parker. He's the running back. Mark Ingram's right next to him. There you go.
Got it. Beg your pardon.
Yep.
Flag down. John Parker Wilson sacked for the second time.
Yeah, I think Spikes was in the neutral zone, though, and this one will be a 5-yard penalty against Florida. I think it was Spikes, 51. Yeah, it was Spikes, I'm pretty sure. He's been lining up at that far defensive end spot all game.
Tom Ritter.
Offside. 51 defense, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
Just kind of leaning forward, top of the screen. See him going against Andre Smith, using the speed rush. Andre does a great job against them. Going to be all no huddle for Alabama from now on.
John Parker Wilson finds Brad Smelly, third-string tight end.
Well, remember I said that Florida's Ali, and in the last fight, the thriller in Manila, remember Frazier dominated those middle rounds, but Ali came on late. Fourth quarter, Florida, Ali has come on late.
Clock is stopped. And the previous play under review. You're watching Riley Cooper and Tim Tebow, and they'll take a look at this. Well, we've talked about the. Well, let's take a look at the play. Oh, yeah, that may be called back.
Might have hit the ground.
Yeah.
Well, if Florida could win this game without Percy Harvin, this is going to be something, I'll tell you, because Alabama has not given them anything.
Right.
This has been a clean, well-played game. One more look here. Well, the ball hit the ground. The nose of the ball hit the ground. Looks seemed to me. And he was still moving his hands afterwards.
Jim Allison is our replay official tonight, so he's the man making the determination. Sure looked like it.
Well, if you're Alabama, you're thinking, give me a quick drive, or give me any kind of drive, and then onside kick. That's really the football game for Alabama. Even if you score with 30 seconds, 25 seconds to go, your only chance here is touchdown, onside kick.
Well, the conversation continues.
We must monitors them.
I guess.
You know what they could be doing is trying to figure out where the ball was, so they have to go back and set it on the play because they had already moved the chain. So they're going for the previous spot right now. It's going to be 3rd and long.
After review, it has been determined that the pass was incomplete. Therefore, it'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 22-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 2:24. 2:24.
Right call.
Yeah, my mistake there. Remember, that came right after the Brandon Spikes offsides penalty. Then they had a play, and now they had this one.
In this quarter, remember what happened in the third? Right. 24 plays for Alabama.
Well, you know me. I'm not a momentum guy.
I know you know.
Everything just happens the way it happens. Alabama had all the momentum, and all of a sudden Florida wins.
Play fake. John Parker Wilson. Sidearm. Darius Hanks. Joe Hayden misses the tackle. Hanks with a 1st down out to the 32-yard line. Will Hill. Nick Saban was chatting with us in a conference call on Wednesday and said, you hope for the opportunity to play for something treasured like this, and then you hope that both teams play well. And you walk away, winner or loser, but with your head held up.
I think so, and I actually do think both teams play well. I really didn't mean Florida wins. I mean Florida wins most of this 4th quarter. Game's not over. I understand that.
1st down and 10. Mark Ingram is the running back. We are at the 2-minute level. Wilson hit as he lets it go. Intercepted. Joe Hayden has it. He's down the near sideline. He goes to his right. That should put the cork in the bottle. Gary began the day talking about Brandon Spikes. He was the guy with the pressure.
Yeah, Jermaine Cunningham came also. Now, Alabama has 3 timeouts, so Florida can't just take a knee. But Cunningham comes one way. Now Parker Wilson has to try to do it. You see Cunningham on one side, Spikes on the other side. That's 2 big guys. And, you know, John Parker's trying to throw that ball away and just play another day and doesn't get enough on it. Can't blame him on that one.
And so the Florida Gators 139 away from the victory.
After the play, personal foul number 51, unnecessary roughness. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10.
Spikes gets 1 block, but John Parker grabs his face mask, and all Spikes does is kind of hold him. Well, whatever. Both side guys were just kind of frustration of a big game right there.
31-20, 1:39 to go. Celebration on the Florida Gator sideline. Barring something unforeseen, they're going to win this game, and barring some monumental mistake by the 6 computers used to assess the BCS finalists, they're going to go into the championship game. And they did so without their most all-around player, I think, Percy Harvin. Although it'd be kind of hard to argue about Tebow.
You know, and you said it. Vern, I think you kind of gave a little wiggle room for the computers where you said most likely the winner of this game's in. Do we have to follow this football if it goes the other way, if Florida doesn't make it? Do we have to really watch the championship game?
Boy, that's a move to.
I'm not watching that game if Florida's not in it.
Well, Tim Tebow, of course, large family. Bob and Pam, his mom and dad, missionaries. In the middle, in the blue, that's Christy Allen. And just to your left, her husband, Joey. They are missionaries in Bangladesh. They've watched most of the games on the Sling Box this year. But this time, they made the trip back. They're here in person. Tim Tebow, what kind of day has he had? Well, take a look at him run, Gary.
He did it early with the power. Then he made these touchdown throws. Come on, let's be honest. He's a whole offense here today without Harvin. He feathered the ball. He fired the ball. He threw touchdown passes, 3 of them that he had in the football game. And then his 3 passes in that last drive. Now remember, we put the graphic up there. 0-5 when he's trailing in the second half. Yeah, I guess we can get rid of that one.
Think so. He'll hand it off. Little kind of play. Emmanuel Moody up the middle. And Urban Meyer celebrating on the sideline.
He wanted a touchdown there, didn't he? He wanted to get Moody a touchdown. That thing could have popped, and then he got a Gatorade bath at the same time. Watch this.
That stuff is cold.
How about what Urban Meyer's done in his short coaching career? From Bowling Green to Utah, took him to a BCS undefeated team, won national championship in his second year. Now in his fourth year, he's going to go to the national championship again.
1 minute to go. And the Florida Gators are going to give Alabama its first defeat of the season. And we assume advance. Texas making a case, of course. The Big 12 using the BCS standings as a tiebreaker to put Oklahoma in against Missouri tonight. And look at the computer rankings. That is, I just...
Yeah, well, we can't let that happen. I mean, Texas, I'll tell you, they got a great argument that they should be playing in that game. I understand that. I believe what happens on the field should count. But I believe now, and I think even Mac Brown would say, Texas's only shot should be, should Oklahoma lose the game.
18 seconds to go. One small irony in this game, of course, is that Tim Tebow came very, very close to signing with Alabama. He got a very good relationship with Mike Shula, but on the day of the signing, he announced his intention to become a Gator.
Vern, Florida has to be careful. If there was a fight right at the end of the game, punches thrown, you could be thrown out for the first half of the national championship game.
There is a flag.
Looks like the officials are going to side and not throw anybody out of the game. Oh, 63 for Florida. Kicked the player when he was down.
That's Jim Tart, redshirt senior. If he did, it happened before that little exchange of shoves. Tebow in the middle of it. 31-20. Tracy Wilson's with Urban Meyer.
And with Urban Meyer now, I don't think I've ever seen you smile this much. Urban, with his family, you knew this would be a challenge for you. You come in, you knock off #1 ranked Alabama, going to the SEC, you win the SEC championship, you're going to the title game. Where does this one rank for you?
It's #1. It's #1, and we give great credit to our opponent. They were phenomenal. That was a hell of a football game. We had two major injuries we had to deal with last week, so I can't tell. I told these players I love them before. I love them. I mean, they battled.
You mentioned the injury. Talk about the way they overcame the loss of Percy Harvin today.
Well, Riley Cooper, mate, we call it competitive excellence in Florida. We practice, you practice, practice. You don't know. You might only have 18 catches like he had. He comes out and has a game winner. So I'm just proud of our guys stepped up when a couple guys got hurt.
Okay, we can't forget Tim Tebow. Just tell me finally, the way he carried his team on his back, especially tonight, does he deserve the Heisman vote?
Oh, I'd vote for that. If I had a vote, I'd vote Tim Tebow the Heisman. What he means to this football team, I think he's the best player in college football.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Tracy, thank you. Well, the final drive featured Tim Tebow, and let's take you through them. It's time for the 5-star plays of the game presented by Wrangler.
It started out with the fade touch pass down the sideline. Remember that one?
Lewis Murphy on the receiving end.
And then a quarterback play action hard throw to Hernandez.
Great catch by Hernandez. And then the touchdown, roommate to roommate. Tim Tebow to Riley Cooper. Let's go back down to Tracy, who's with Tim.
Tim, congratulations. You're headed to the national championship game for the second time in 3 years, but how is this one different for you?
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. I mean, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and my teammates and my coaches and everybody, you know, that supported us and everybody involved with our program. It's just an unbelievable day for us.
How about Ole Miss? You think you should thank them for the wake-up call?
Absolutely.
You have a Heisman vote. We've been talking about it all night and all year. Do you deserve to win the Heisman, and will you vote for yourself?
You know, right now, it really doesn't matter because we just won the SEC championship, and we're going to celebrate that and go get ready for another game in a few more weeks.
Good luck, Tim. Congratulations.
God bless you.
And it's time for the DirecTV player of the game. Gosh, the drama. I wonder who this might be. Tim Tebow, 13 of 21 for 210. He's only thrown 2 interceptions all year. He rushed for 57 yards. And I must say, Gary, he made that emotional speech after an hour during which they lost to Ole Miss. I think if they go on and win the national championship, that moment in the aftermath of the Ole Miss loss is going to be right up there with win one for the Gipper.
Well, it was a great game, and it lived up to the billing. It was a joy to do.
We always hope that that is the case. The final score, 31-20. We had 4 lead changes in the ball game. The Florida Gators defeat Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide, their first defeat of the year. Well, we've got quite a crew here. We had our pregame quartet, and along with our entire group that travels throughout the SEC, for all of us at CBS. For Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson, I'm Vern Lundquist. Good night from Atlanta.